on a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air.
Good morning, good morning. How's it going, guys? Nice to have you. Are you guys sure you could see me? Because it doesn't look like on my end that you can see my screen. Just confirm one more time, everybody can see my screen and see me. And if you say yes, I'll go ahead and start the session. I'll wait for your response. How's the weather in Canada? It's been pretty mild. Not much going on here. Not much snow. Not much anything. Some gray skies, a little bit of sun once in a while. Oh, okay, so you can. All right. And you can see me in the bottom left-hand corner, I guess? If so, beautiful. Yeah, you can see. All right, beautiful. Love it. All right, good stuff, guys. Welcome back. Nice to have you guys. Ooh, good tune. Good tune. Anyways, all right, so today we're going to take a look at the headlines as we did yesterday, or not yesterday, but the last time we did a live session. We took a look at the headlines. So let's take a look at what we have here. All right, we've got retail sales miss in first glimpse of consumer spending in months. All right, good. We have stock futures stall with retail sales. Okay, so let's take a look at that. We've been talking about the S&P 500 and the demand that's come into play. We took a look at the NASDAQ. If you guys follow along on the social media channels that I have, you'd know that I was talking about how institutional demand came into play here on the NASDAQ futures, okay, on the weekly time frame. And then we had headlines yesterday saying, you know, big move in the NASDAQ to the upside. And this is all because of the institutional demand coming into play, okay? So we have institutional buying taking place here down at the just underneath 24,000. And we have supply that's been tested up here on the daily time frame. And so now we've got price basically sitting within this range, okay? We have institutional demand down here, and we have institutional supply that's been tested up here. What's the bias? The bias is that we get price to eventually move higher and break through that. So I am bullish the market right now, okay? I'm very bullish. I am looking for a long signal on the 1 hour time frame. I'm looking for a pullback into institutional demand, and I'm looking to enter into a long trade on the NASDAQ futures, okay? Dow Jones looks pretty good as well with institutional demand coming into play here on the weekly time frame. So this is bullish all across the board. When you look at all the major indexes, it's bullish across the board. Yes, over here on the daily time frame, we have some supply, but I suspect that once price gets up here, it's going to take it out and price is going to go higher, okay? And when you look at the S&P, it dipped down past this weekly demand area. This was an event-driven spike through, so it is to be ignored, at least how I look at the charts. You ignore this, and as you can see, we are still holding this area of demand. So over time, we are expecting to see price go higher, okay? We do have some supply. Remember, this supply is the one that price dropped from, okay? We had this supply drawn out as price was rallying up into it. It dropped down to here. Now we're coming back into this area. I suspect over time, this will be absorbed and price will go higher, all right? So everything, according to what I am seeing on the charts, is bullish, okay? Everything is bullish. So stocks are expected to go higher over time. All right. All right. So let's look back at the headlines. We have Meta, Nvidia. Let's look at Meta and see what it's up to. Okay. So Meta has dropped from its highs. We had institutional supply coming into play here. Look at that. Okay. Institutional supply, price rallied up into supply, dropped. Now we have an area here that we should be paying attention to right here, because I suspect if we get price to rally up towards this area, which is very likely, we'll probably get some kind of a reaction to the downside, and then that will bring an opportunity to get in long on Meta around this area, okay? Give or take around this area. We'll be looking for institutional demand zones on the daily time frame when that happens, okay? But on the monthly, we can see we have big institutional demand down below here. Price didn't get all the way down there, so we'll wait and see what happens. But it'll probably start making a move to the upside in the next week or two. All right, this is looking bullish. Nvidia, been watching this one for some time now. What do we see? Let's take a look here. So remember I was talking to you about the daily time frame and how it was in a range. We had supply here and we had demand here, okay? Now you can see that price penetrated through this area, okay? You see that penetration right there? Right there. So, you know, would I consider that to be removed? It's hard to say. I think not. I think it's still holding. I would like to see more controlled trading through this area of demand for it to be removed. So I think this range is still holding for now. We've got this bullish engulf area on the monthly that we're reacting from. It's not institutional demand, and we don't have demand on the weekly time frame as well. With Nvidia, I'm waiting for new institutional buying to come in onto this chart, okay? Because when you look at the weekly time frame, this is nonsense. All this stuff here, this is nothing. This is nothing, okay? This is the only institutional demand zone here. So price can easily drop down to this area. Easily. Could it rally? Yeah, but the banks would have to come in with new buying from these areas here, okay? From this area here. The bank would have to come in with new buying. So I wouldn't want to touch Nvidia. I wouldn't touch it unless it came either down to here or new institutional demand zones start being created, okay? We need to wait and see what the banks want to do. And right now it's in la-la land. It could do just about anything. It's too risky to get involved when it's doing that. Alibaba, I like this stock, like it a lot. I've previously traded it, did very well with it. Now I'm looking for to trade it again. We've got a monthly demand zone that was created here, a really nice looking one right here. So I'd prefer to wait for a drop to take a long trade there. 120s would be a good spot. The fact that the weekly area of supply got taken out leads me to suspect that we have weakness here, okay? That's taking place medium term, okay? Again, when we take a look at the institutional zones here, we can see that we have a selling area right here, okay? That's the last area where the big institutions came in and were selling. So I don't want to even think about going long right now, okay? Not the time for it. Let's just fix this here. There we go. Okay, I wouldn't even think about going long right now. Not the time for it. Okay, you just got to be patient and watch what they do. If they come in with new buying, we'll see it. Okay, and if they're going to push price higher, we'll see it. We'll wait for retracements into those new buying zones, and then we'll take part in it. But as far as I'm seeing now, all I'm seeing is medium-term weakness here. Okay, UPS. I have this one on my watch list. I'd like to buy it lower at $77 right now. Wouldn't touch it. Okay. At $77, I'd buy it, but not where it's at right now. It's like in the middle of no man's land. Down here, yes. Okay. But where it's at right now, no way. Stay away from it. What else do we got? Best Buy. BBY. We just reacted from institutional supply on the long-term chart, and we got the drop. You see that? See how price rallied into 83 and it's dropped since then to 75, okay? Overall, on the higher time frames, yes, we have institutional demand in play. I would not be buying this one until this got taken out, okay? Wait until supply gets taken out. Wait until institutional buying comes in, retracement into institutional buying zones, and then you buy it, okay? That's the smart way to trade this. You don't want to trade it right now. What else we got? Broadcom. All right, I've been watching this one as well. Super strong stock. Look at it. It's just super strong. The last big institutional buying zone was back here at 180. And I just located another one. Right here would be a nice area to buy. Right here. Okay. Just under 315, I'd be a buyer. I don't like this big drop here. Weekly chart, kind of messy. I wouldn't be buying up here. No way. I'd wait for retracements to buying zones, okay, between 280, 315, give or take, and then I'd be a buyer. But super, super, super strong stock. ANF. Abercrombie and Fitch. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. Let me see here. It looks like it responded to institutional demand here. Let's take a look at the monthly chart a little bit better here. Yeah, I would draw this demand zone like that. Okay, so technically it hasn't been reached. Could be reacting to some weekly demand. Yeah, it looks like that might be the case. Yeah. And we got institutional supply up here. This is big selling that took place up here. So, you know, any upside, you're limited to this supply area at 133. It looks like earnings came out positive. Yeah. I don't think it's ready for me right now. I don't like to buy when price is swimming in the middle of the ocean, okay? We got supply up here, demand here. It hasn't touched any of them. I wouldn't touch it. So we'll move along. All right. We covered the major ones that I wanted to take a look at. Now let's go over to gold. I'm watching gold for short signal. I was sharing this one with you guys on the Telegram channel and on my Twitter channel as well. You guys liked the tweet and you guys liked it over 30 likes, which was nice to see, which means you guys are interested in the trade signal. So let's discuss that. So we have a situation happening with gold here where institutions need to take profits on long positions. Okay, for a long time they've been acquiring a long position, and they were just getting closer and closer to reaching their maximum size. I believe, because I don't know for a fact, we don't have the data yet to show it to us, but the data is slowly coming out, but I don't have the latest set of data to indicate whether or not up here there was profit taking on long positions. I can pretty much see it on the charts. So, you know, this big drop, okay, is profit taking on long positions. There's no doubt in my mind, okay? This retracement up is just to get to offload those long positions again, all right? So we've had a major sell-off here, a secondary sell-off here, and now I'm looking for more sell-offs on the smaller time frames. And I suspect the next one that's coming is going to happen here, okay? Which is going to bring price down towards this area here, okay? So we have a rally, a sell-off in longs, rally, sell-off in longs, rally, sell-off in longs, and a move to the downside. So I'm trying to capture this move right here. But I'm not going to enter unless I get the signal, the trade signal, okay? So we're just right there. There's the zone, and we just had an initial reaction just millimeters away from that zone. I think there's a very good chance we might see another push to the upside. When we look at the 1 hour time frame, we can see that there is short-term buying that is coming into play and holding. Okay, it's holding, right? If there's going to be a sell-off from long positions being closed off, we would see this area being removed. Okay, the short-term buying zones would turn into short-term selling zones, and it hasn't happened. Okay, it's come down, it's tested, it's moved up, now it's coming back down. What I'm watching for today is for something like a move to the upside to contact the meat of this supply zone, and then to get a reaction to the downside. And I think there's a very good chance that this very 1 hour demand zone that is holding so well right now could play a pivotal role in the move to the downside. Okay, because if price rallies up and contacts the meat of this supply area and price drops, then what's happening is that that's a short-term selling zone that's coming into play, and the 1 hour is very short term. For price to really build momentum to the downside, this very short term buying zone is going to have to be taken out. And if it gets taken out and produces a short signal for us, then we want to take part in that short term momentum, because I think that very short term momentum is going to turn into short term momentum, leading for a bigger move to the downside. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be watching for today. It could be a really big move. This is how big of a move I'm looking at capturing here. It could be a 12 to 1 risk to reward, okay? Or 12 to 1 reward to risk. But you know what I'm saying, all right? A 12 reward trade could much be developing right now. So I'm looking to capture a big move here. Okay, big move here. That would be nice, eh? You risk 1,000, make 12 G's. Risk 10,000, make $120,000. And this would play out probably, you know, probably in the span of a week. It could take a week to do that. Yeah, it could take that. Okay. This could be a big move brewing here. Big move brewing here. Okay. But I'm really going to be focused on what's happening right here. I really would like to see that test this area here, then come down, break through, rally up, and then down we go. Okay. That's the move I'm watching for. Okay, folks. All right, so that's gold. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So if you've been paying attention to Bitcoin, you'd see that it's reacting exactly from where I said it was going to react from. Okay, remember I made a post back on social media, on X and on the Telegram channel. When price was up here, remember it was sitting at 94? I said, yeah, it's going to drop. And then the banks are going to come and buy, and then they're going to build momentum, and then it's going to go up. Okay. And so this is exactly what's happening. Price has come down, and now we're getting our first reaction to the upside. The important thing is, number one, in trading, I always say this, most important thing in trading is to know what time frame to be watching. I look through X and I look at the posts that people are making, and it's just completely ridiculous. People have zero clue what time frame to be focusing their attention on. They have zero clue what they should be looking at. One person says, look at the RSI in the weekly time frame. The last time it was here, it shot up this much. Other people are saying, look at this trend line on the weekly time frame. It's just indicating that price is going to go lower. Everybody is seeing something different, and that's great. That makes the markets, and that's wonderful. But the funny thing is that these people have a big following, and people listen to this, right? People are all over the place. Nobody knows what to be looking at. And so what I'm sharing with you is what you absolutely, unequivocally need to be looking at. I am showing you the reality of what's happening right now. This is why I was able to tell you before, when price was here, that it was going to do this, stop here, and slowly build momentum to the upside, okay? This is why I'm able to do these things, because I know exactly what to be looking at. I know exactly what's playing out. I know why it's playing out. I'm just waiting for the signal, okay? Could they push price lower? Sure, they could. Is it likely? Very, very small chance they'll do it. 10% chance, probably even less than that they're going to do that, okay? So when you have like a 90% chance that something's going to happen, I feel very confident saying that's likely going to happen. So we need to watch this chart. RSI is very weak, okay? This means very aggressive selling has been taking place to get here. Price is not just going to shoot up, all right? It's not going to happen. Momentum has to shift, okay? It's not just going to go like this, okay? It's not going to happen. The momentum has to shift. So we're going to be watching this for momentum to slowly shift, okay? And then when it does, I'm going to be looking for the long signal, all right? And, you know, we'll see if you guys are interested in the long signal. I'll be making some posts, and I'll now watch your engagement. And if we get lots of likes on these posts that I make regarding Bitcoin, then I'll share the signal with you. But I'm aiming for a big move, okay? And it could be as big as a 11 reward here, a 1 to 11 risk to reward, okay? It could be a really big move, but I've got a target at 148, okay? Big move. And I just didn't pluck this target, you know, out of thin air. There's a very, very specific reason why I have targets at 148. Okay, it's based on the institutional trading that has been taking place, what the banks were willing to push price up from their institutional buying zones in the past, and replicating that same amount of distance and momentum that we expect to come into these markets when they're ready to start buying again. And that takes us to 148, okay? So there's some people writing out there saying, you know, this is the last time you're going to be buying Bitcoin under $90,000. And you know what? I can't disagree with them, because there's a very good chance that is true. A very good chance that's true, okay? Let's see. People don't want the reality. They want quick money. Well, you know, listen, people they don't know the reality, is what I'd say. They don't know, so they just do the best they can, and they say just crazy stuff. Like, I go through social media just to see what people are saying, and I post replies to them just to get them to think, because I want them to be open to new ways of thinking about the charts. You know, it just boggles my mind that people. Did you see the video I posted about J.P. Morgan and Jamie Dimon telling everybody that Bitcoin was worthless, and then that same weekend they were buying up Bitcoin like crazy? They caused it to price to go down from this news, and then they bought it. You know, it's crazy to think that people pick up a book and they learn conventional technical analysis, and they draw a trend line. They're like, look, we're at the bottom of this trend line, so that's the reason why it's going to go up. Look, you have to understand the markets are manipulated, and the banks are going to take your money, and they're working hard to take your money. So don't you think that the banks could draw the same trend line as you? Don't you think that they could draw the same trend line as you? And if they are drawing the same trend line as you, don't you think they're going to use that information against you? Like, I don't understand where people are at. Why wouldn't somebody logically come to that conclusion? Like, you walk into a casino, I hope everybody knows you walk into a casino and the odds are stacked against you, right? They're not there to give you money. They're there to take your money. That's the purpose of a casino, is to get you addicted to that maybe I could win feeling, so that you lose all your money and they take all your money from you. That's the purpose of a casino. Yeah, they can hide it under, oh, it's there to, you know, to bring entertainment and it's fun and all that nonsense, you know. That's just to lure you into making some stupid decisions. But the point of a casino is to take your money. And, you know, and the point of the financial markets, you know, I think it was Warren Buffett that said it. You know, the markets are a tool to take the money from the impatient to the patient. I think that's part of it, but I think the markets are a tool to take money from people who have no idea how to trade the markets and what the markets are all about, and how the markets are manipulated and controlled, to those that control it. Okay, and so this is my goal, is to teach people what's really going on here. And how do I know? Well, I've spent the last what has it been, 13 years now, studying the markets, studying the institutional buying and selling on such a deep level that I've uncovered things that I don't think anybody has ever uncovered before. And I've created concepts and principles based on these things that I've uncovered, and I've been sharing these concepts and principles with my students. And it's a constant learning game, right? We're constantly learning. But the thing that I always say is, don't believe me. I don't need you to believe me, okay? Just watch what I do. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, know that I'm right. Notice why I'm right, and learn from it, okay? People can be right every once in a while, okay, by guessing. Because I see people guessing all the time, you know. When price was at 94 and it started to drop, right? When we got this drop, nobody was really saying the bottom is in here and this is the reason why. People were like, oh, this thing's going to drop. This is so bad. So-and-so is offloading their short positions. Look at JP Morgan. They're offloading their short positions. Look at this guy. They're offloading his short positions. This is going to go to 46,000. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. Okay? All right? And then when you get this bullish looking bounce, then everybody starts posting, we've hit the bottom. We've hit the bottom. Now it's going to start going. Everybody's just guessing. You understand? Every time it looks bullish, they guess that it's going to be the bottom, because they want to be the hero later on when they come back and say, oh, I told you it was the bottom. Right, but you also said that it was going to go to 46, okay? And then they delete those comments, right? So you never see the track record. I'm telling you beforehand, we had this demand zone drawn on our charts when price was up here, up here, up here, okay? The whole dynamic of price would suggest that if price was to go down here, it would go here. We've known this for months, okay? Nothing's new. Nothing's changed, okay? We knew that it was likely going to drop. That's why we had a short signal right here, okay? That was our short signal. Because of the analysis that we did, we were looking at what was taking place. The lack of what didn't take place here led us to suspect with high degree of certainty that price was going to drop. Okay? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We're not looking and changing constantly our viewpoint. No, nothing's changed. And I said that when price gets down here, if it were to get down here, and it was very likely it was going to, that's where the institutions would be buying, okay? The reason why we know this is because we're looking at the dynamic of what's taking place on the charts, period, okay? So if you want to learn something, yeah, you could learn from people that are telling you, oh, it looks like this now, maybe it looks like that. Oh, you know, these people are selling, so it's probably going to drop. There's a weak RSI. I mean, it's just crazy what people are looking at. It's so confusing. They just look at anything that could potentially be a signal, and then they're just posting it. But if you want to know the reality, you come and learn with us. Plain and simple. Okay? And like I said, don't trust me. You shouldn't trust me. You shouldn't trust me. If I was a trader just stumbling across my videos, I wouldn't trust me. I don't trust nobody. Okay? Because when you realize just how full of nonsense people are, you realize you shouldn't trust people, okay? I wouldn't trust me. What I would do is I'd pay attention to me, okay? Number one, because I'm saying things and looking at things differently than most people. Most people are losing money. The vast majority of traders are losing money. So if you do what the vast majority of traders do, guess what your outcome is going to be? You could just guess. I would pay attention. I would make marks on my chart. He said it's going to do this and for this reason. He said to watch for this and for this reason. And then I would wait and see what happened. Okay. This is how most of my students become students of mine. They've been watching me. I hear the messages all the time. I was watching you. I took notes, and you were damn right. What you said played out exactly for the reasons why you said it. Because what you're trying to learn here is the logic. Okay, the logic is, why would we be watching the daily time frame for a momentum shift? Why does the RSI on the daily time frame matter at all with regards to this big shift that's about to happen in Bitcoin? Why does it matter? Why isn't it not the RSI on the weekly or the monthly? Why isn't it not a momentum shift taking place on the 1 hour chart or a 4 hour chart or a weekly chart? Why is it this chart? This is what you want to learn, because when you learn the logic of what we're doing, then you realize, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. And there's a reason why. Okay, there's a very specific reason why you have to look at these charts. So I'm going to be patient with Bitcoin because it's going to happen. High degree of certainty, it's going to happen. Price is going to shift its momentum to the upside. And there's going to be a nice trade here, a really nice one. Okay, so I want you to join me, and I want you to ride this one. But I'll be watching my social media posts when it comes to Bitcoin. Anything I post about Bitcoin, I want to see your engagements. And if I get those likes, then I will share with you the exact trade. Otherwise, if I don't, then obviously it tells me you guys are not that much interested. And if you're not that much interested, that's fine. I'll share with you the trade that I get in after I got into the trade. I'll share it with members before I get into the trade, but I'll share it with the rest of you guys after I get into the trade. And when it starts rallying up here and you're like, oh, damn it, this guy, how the hell did he know that? I'm going to show you when it's at 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, when I move my stop loss to break even, because it's going to happen. All right. I'm pretty damn confident of that. All right. And if it doesn't happen, it'll be because of the break of this monthly area, and the likelihood of this monthly area breaking, pretty slim. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but pretty slim. All right. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you got something out of this session. And pay attention. Make notes on your charts. Don't trust me. Just listen to what I have to say, write it down, and then follow it and see for yourself, okay? You should be 100% convinced of what I'm saying before you even consider joining what we're doing, because there's a 1,000,005 people telling you to believe what they say. Don't believe anybody. Look for proof. Sit back, take notes, look for proof. When you see 100% that they know what they're talking about and the logic is right, you don't want to be learning some RSI system that doesn't work and then 10 years from now realize you spent 10 years learning nonsense, okay? You want to focus on something that you could build upon, something that's based in reality, based in truth, something that will make you a smarter and better trader 10 years from now. All right? That's it. I've talked enough. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys later. See you later, everybody.
We are all just prisoners here of our own device. And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their stealing knives, but they just